Hello there. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. Let's start with the S&P, which had a pretty positive day. Um, S&P settled up a percent, 73 points, 71.37. Just 10 points below the Friday historic high. Notably, yesterday's bearish engulfing candle completely failed to play out. It's unusual. Bearish engulfing candles will usually play out probably 85% of the time. And we literally just gapped up and just kind of clawed upwards into the close. Nothing bearish there, right? I mean, RSI is 70, we're overbought still. You could argue we're building a choppy top and we're going to eventually break down, which seems probable. But maybe that doesn't happen until after the Fed. The market will inherently be inclined to go up into a Fed. Fed is next Wednesday. Now, and we know the Fed's not going to cut rates, but that's not the point. The market will still be inclined to go up into the Fed. Probably next Tuesday. The Fed's on Wednesday, but maybe the market will max out on the Tuesday, perhaps. Again, that assumes that oil doesn't spike for whatever reason, either tomorrow, Friday, or Monday. I will note that despite today's significant gain, momentum did weaken for a third day. Now, clearly, it's got to stay positive. Even if you just extrapolate out, it's probably going to stay positive into the end of the month and probably the following first proper week of May. So, and the more cautious bears will not short until momentum turns negative again. Okay, before I forget, actually we'll do the VIX first, but then we'll jump to the transports. VIX very subdued, settled down 3%. 1903, 1892. Okay, that's not a reversal candle. So nothing particularly bearish there. I mean, well, in terms of equities, we have a downside gap. Actually, there's a downside gap that goes down to, what, 17 and a half. Despite today's decline, momentum in the VIX is still ticking upwards. It's not going to turn positive tomorrow, but it might turn positive on either Friday or Monday. So the VIX is warning you of a problem, at least on a cyclical basis. Now, the one thing I want to highlight before I forget, and I'm thankful to a subscriber, actually maybe one or two up here. I'm like, why? So the transports, new historic high, but a monstrous downwave of 8.4%, which is like, that's insane. I'm like, oh, and somebody had to point out to me because I was thinking about why the hell that was the case. We type in car. That's why. If we change that chart to arithmetic, we get a proper. So I wasn't aware of this. I've been out of a loop. I just not particularly caring about this. So this has been going up since mid-March when it was 94. Very consistent actually. So in the last 3 days though, including today, things really accelerated from around 500 to today's high of 847. So this is just a classic hyper short squeeze. And then of course it all ends horribly. Closed down 37%. Of course, today's candle is hyper bearish engulfing. Avis is a transports stock. There's only 20 stocks in the transports. And that is why the transports was, I mean, of course, the airlines were down heavily today. So the transports wasn't down just because of this, but this was clearly the primary reason. And yeah, look at the volume. Office, just monstrous volume of 120 odd million. And I will note, and because I did, when somebody mentioned it to me, I'm like, oh, right, yeah. The last time this happened in the transports, November of 2021, and this was directly the same company, Avis, saw the transports hyper spike to 18,246. And that high was only taken out literally in February, I think. Yeah. We only took, it's taken almost what? 5 years, well, but I guess better part of 4.5 years to finally take out that Avis high. And then this spike is now also a new Avis high. So that's why the transports went a bit wild. And it is notable that in that case, in November 21, that did mark a key high. And then the market rolled over, the main market, and we had a bear market across 2022, and that floored in October. Transports went from 18, let's just round it off to 12K, 6K off 18. So the transports lost roughly 33% across the better part of a year. That's interesting. You could absolutely suggest that Avis is maybe a top tick. It is top tick in the transports that did it there, and it's doing it now. And is that it? Because this gain, considering the war and considering the airlines, is ludicrous. But clearly, it's due to Avis. So thank you. You know who you are out there. If you're listening, I can't keep. It's just difficult to keep everything in mind. But yeah, we have two Avis highs there and here. Interesting. Okay, let's jump to some of the more normal stocks and see if there's anything that stands out. So after yesterday's decline on Tim Cook, Apple rebounded basically back to where we started, 2.5% up. Nothing bearish there. Archer Aviation, that's a black candle. Agnico Eagle Mines, black candles today in gold, silver, and the miners. That's bearish for tomorrow. Doesn't mean we're going to open down, but we should be red at some point tomorrow. American Eagle, yesterday's bearish engulfing candle played out. Not a great day for retail. First Majestic Silver is up 4%. Spurious gain. Actually not spurious, because I mean silver was up today. AMD, this is ludicrous. Up 6.67%, new historic high. It's crazy. Amazon, up 2%, but we are stuck. And look at this big resistance, 258, 256. Earnings are next Wednesday. I would note the ceasefire gap all the way down here. We're going to have to come down to here sooner or later. American Express up 0.9%. American Express has earnings. Let me check. Yeah, early Thursday. They should be fine, but look at these candles. They're spiky. Green gap filled. We're spiky against the 200-day. I'd be surprised if we can go much higher. Barrick Mining, a black candle. Most of the miners had black candles today. Boeing up 5.5% on mixed earnings. Revenue growth was good, 14% or so. But they're still losing money. I think they lost 20 cents for the quarter, which isn't much, but they're not making money on their airplanes. That's not great. Also, no, again, ceasefire gap. That's an issue. Bank of America, leaning weak, has ceasefire gap. Momentum is weakening, prone to turning negative on either Friday or next Monday. That's a problem. BlackRock up 2%. Blackstone up roughly 1%. Today's candle is black. Earnings are due tomorrow morning for Blackstone. They should be okay, but black candle bodes red for Thursday. Cat, black candle. Kimiko up 8.5%. Wow. Gotta be bullish uranium, right? Carnival down 1.5%. Cleveland up 4. Still horrible though. Coinbase up 5%, helped by Bitcoin printing 79K also. Decker's down 2%. The mouse. What's that? Is that a black candle? Yes, it is. Short-term bearish. I need to get to this sharp. Let's get rid of that. I'll stick. I don't know. This will stick that up there. That reminds me. I still need to watch season 2 of Andor. I'm kind of dreading it because I know it's it's probably gonna be amazing, but I don't know. I'm rating I'm waiting for the right mood. Of course, I guess the same thing occurred for Breaking Bad. In that case, I waited 17 years before I watched Breaking Bad. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And here I am. I think it's been a year since season 2 of Andor came out. Anyway, Disney, Black Candle, bearish for Thursday. Energy transfer, 1.6, nothing much there. That's a black candle, isn't it? No. But most of this you can argue is multi-week chop. Actually, multi-week bear flag. It's a big one, but it's not pretty, right? If you lose it for 200 a day, which I think we're going to, then it's not great. I mean, I know I see the people out there posting silver's got to go to $200 this summer. I'm like, no, it's not. I wish I could believe it. And if I did believe it, I'd be long SLV calls, but I don't. I'm not. Forward rolling over, you can see the little spikes here. They're very subtle, but they are there. Momentum's weakening. Bearish forward. Freeport McMoran up 4%. It's impressive. Google earnings next Wednesday up 2%. A lot of resistance from the previous high, 348. Won't be easy to go above that. Home Depot, this is almost my prime short right now. Again, I'm not short anything, but if there's one target, I like the idea of shorting. It's Home Depot. Look at yesterday's candle. Bearish engulfing from the 50-day. What a great short entry that would have been. And now it's down 1.3% today. Big old orange gap here. It's got to fill. You got to think sooner or later we're going to take out the April low. Bearish retail. Eckler, don't care right now. Intel, it's struggling. Yeah, yesterday's candle was black. So yesterday's candle was black. Today's candle was bearish engulfing, down 1.5%. Basic target is the ceasefire gap, 55 to 52, which is $10 down. It's a long old way. That's like 17, 18% now. Intel has earnings Thursday after hours, which should be fine, but the stock is insanely overvalued. Well, is on a technical basis at least. Look, we're up here. You wanted to buy it. This was the buying area here, not here. Momentum is prone to turning negative on Friday. Yeah. So the setup is bearish. Let's skip through some of these. JP Morgan's black candle. KKR, black candle. Black candles all over the place. Meta, not a black candle, but you can see it's a bit stalled from the 200-day. Earnings, I should have done when earnings are for Meta are. MP Materials up 5%. Microsoft up 2.1%. Look, 432. We're getting close to tagging green gap. That looks probable tomorrow. Earnings are next Wednesday, which is also when Google and Amazon are posting. Micron up 8.5%, new historic high. This is crazy, but I will say, annualized EPS is roughly $80 or so, which makes this stock a PE of around 5, which is still insanely cheap because memory prices have gone insane. Netflix up a little bit, not much to say there. Nike back down again. Look at it. It's bounced from 42s to 46s, stalled at the gap. This one's getting kicked out of a Dow sooner or later. Nvidia up a bit. Ondas, black candle. Oxy, powering upwards. Pan American Silver, black candle. Palantir, up 4.5%, no sign of a turn there. Yesterday's black candle failed to play out. They usually do, but not always. Big resistance 164 with a 200-day. This is where it stalled twice. So it's like, I mean, if you're super bullish, you need to see a stock like Palantir break above a 200-day. You have to see stocks like Palantir break above. If this reverses again, anywhere between here and the 200-day, then the next target will be 122 and then 100. I think we'll go to 100. I just don't know when, whether it's going to be soon or not until later in the year. Don't care about PayPal, Red Cat up. Don't care about Rig. Rocket Lab up almost 4%. Is that a black candle? It is. Yeah, it's a black candle in Rocket Lab. They have a launch tonight. Just go look at their YouTube channel. They have a great YouTube channel, Rocket Lab. SMR up 15%. I mean, you could argue it's, is that a floor? I mean, I struggle with that. I mean, it's $13. It was 57. That was peak. That was peak AI data center nuclear uranium hysteria back in October. I'm still suspicious this is going to go back down to the 8s and go down to 5s eventually. Target cooling back. Tesla up 0.3%, 387. In after hours, earnings were, as expected, mediocre. This company is only generating annualized EPS of around $1.64 a year. That's garbage. The PE is roughly 245 or so, assuming a price of 401. It's ridiculous. The valuation is absolutely insane. As I speak, the conference call's going on. I don't know what it's saying. Black candle in take two. United Airlines down 5.5%. Third day down. Look at the black candle marking a key short-term top. Alarm bells. If the 84s go, we're looking at $70. United Health. Yesterday's black candle did not play out. UPS cooling back. Exxon. What's that? Black candle? No. Third day up. Note the reversal candle marking a key low. Let's jump to gold and silver. GLD again. Yeah, we had a lot of black candles today, of course. Gold GLD was officially at 1.3%. Today's candle is a black and leans bearish for Thursday. Silver, much the same. Today's candle's black. So look, you had 2 down days. You had a bounce, but you have a black candle on the bounce. That's bearish for Thursday. Momentum is weakening, prone to turning negative by Friday. And we shall conclude with oil. So look at commodity oil first. Officially up $3.20, 3.6% to 92.87. I would note that the 50-day has been holding in this wave. Find that kind of interesting. Momentum is ticking up. Is on the low end. For the week, we're actually up 10.8%. I would note that the look at this key price threshold. 87s. The market loves trying to floor in from 87s. For the month, we're currently still down 8.4%. I would accept that the 2 monthly candles are very spiky. These are not bullish candles right now. I guess this one was, but this one is, the April candle is not. So the oil bulls really should be looking for a monthly close above 100. It's not absolutely necessary because you could argue that this is just the first push up and then we had a correction in April. But it would be useful for the oil bulls if we close April above 100. That's only $8 up. It's not difficult. We'll look at oil on an hourly. Yeah. Momentum's on the high end on an hourly chart. I mean, I'm kind of in the mood of buying back oil, but I can't do it yet. I want to be buying back oil on a down wave like here, which was Friday. I don't expect a Friday gap. Remember, the Friday gap was down on. Oh God, why were we down on Friday? Oh my God. What was the news on Thursday that necessitated that gap? I don't even remember. Oh my God, it's all becoming a blur. That was the ceasefire gap. That was the provisional ceasefire gap here, right? So what was that gap down on? I don't even remember. It must have been something Trump said. I mean, we're only talking about a few days ago, and I can't even remember now. It's all one big blurry nightmare. But anyway, I'm gonna be staring up at the ceiling later on, thinking, what the hell was that about? I don't even remember last Friday. Why were we down that much? Oh my God. I'm just overloaded with endless, tedious, hundreds of bloody Iran news stories. I'm tired of it. It literally is a waking nightmare. But anyway, you could even argue today's structure was a baby bull flag, but we're on the high end. I can't be buying this. This is not a buying area. That's a buying area down like Friday on that low. So momentum's weakening and it's prone to turning negative by Thursday lunchtime. And even then I'm thinking, okay, we'll say oil's down, I don't know, a couple of percent tomorrow. Well, okay, maybe it's down then 2% tomorrow, and maybe Friday we'll get down to orange gap and tag it because we didn't tag orange gap properly. That's the Monday gap. Well, Monday feels like so long ago, but it's like we gapped up on Monday after the Friday washout. Anyway, I'm kind of wanting to be long oil across the weekend. Then we'll close off with this one. Look at this. This is my crazy chart from yesterday I created. There is a giant head and shoulders on oil. Look what we had today. Look at today's candle. Look at it. It's spiky from the top of the from precisely from the top of the right shoulder. I mean, in theory, this extrapolation line for the head and shoulders would suggest that USO goes to 85, which would be $62 oil. I can't see that as realistic. I'm from the chart is telling me USO 85 or to 62. I still, how long I made the chart myself, I'm like, I can't see it. I think maybe Thursday, Friday will be down, but then we break up on Monday maybe, and then push upwards into May. But the chart is bearish, and that candle is very subtly spiky. Oh damn! I'm trying to be careful. I'm like, what am I going to do? I've got my own head and shoulders chart. It says oil's going to break down next week. I don't know what the reason might be. I mean, really? You really think it's going to be some kind of peace agreement? I don't buy that. But that candle does spook me the longer I look at it. That's exactly where you want to see it spike. Just for like this one here. Oh, I'm getting spooked out by that chart. And my guess is that Trump will do a second wave of attacks and things get really even more insane than they already are. If I'm wrong, of course, then there is the potential that oil breaks down, goes down a lot. Again, by the way, that extrapolation line, that does not mean I'm expecting this next week. It's just kind of an extrapolation line. If that would be, in theory, we would break down there, and then maybe we go down more laterally, more stair step across May, maybe even into early June. But in theory, the target's 85, which is $62 oil, which of course is crazy. Anyway, before I drive myself even more crazy than I am, I will say good night and have an entertaining Thursday. Good night.